Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Champions Cup. We're at the business end of the competition. This one, a semi-final between Leinster and the Northampton Saints. Two sides with successful matches in their quarterfinals. Now they go head-to-head with each other, both playing a very attacking style of rugby as of late. But looking through at the Leinster starting lineup, it is going to be Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, and Tyke Furlong. And at the front row now, I should mention the Irish internationals are back in this Leinster side. They did have them missing from the league in South Africa, but now they are back ready to go for this all-important semi-final. Ross Maloney and Joe McCarthy, they will be the locking duo. Then Ryan Beard, Josh Van Den Flair, and Caelan Doris and the loose forward trio. Jameson Gibson Park accompanies Ross Byrne in the 9-10 channel, with James Lowe out on one wing, Jordan Lama out on the other, with Kieran Frawley slotting in at fullback, and then also Jamie Osborne and Robbie Henshaw. They will be the midfield combination. As you can hear, we've done a lot of streaming today, and the voice is starting to cut out, but as we talk more, it should start to kick in just that little bit more as well. Looking through at the Northampton starting lineup, Alex Waller in the front row alongside Curtis Langdon, as well as Trevor Davison. So a little bit of a unknown for a lot of URC viewers in terms of what this Northampton Saints side can do, but I can guarantee you they are a fast-paced, counter-attacking side that will make you pay. We saw that in their game up against the Bulls, but the thing that made it interesting was the fact that they too actually conceded quite a few points, so Leinster will certainly like their chances. Alex Moon and Alex Cole's going to be their locking duo. They actually have 4 Alexes in the starting lineup. Now, I don't know whether or not that's a record, but it should be, because I don't think I've seen so many players with the same name in a starting lineup of a Champions Cup semi-final. Courtney Laws, Sam Graham, and also Augustus there as the number 8. It's going to be Alex Mitchell and Finn Smith as the 19 combo, with Dingwall in the midfield alongside Tommy Freeman. Then out on one wing, it is George Henry. Out on the other, it is James Ram, and then George Furbank and number 15, so they've also got 2 Georges in their starting lineup. But do let me know, ladies and gents, who do you think will be walking away with this game? We have got Kyle and Hamish. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. Going with my heart. Saints squeeze, end by 7, says Eric. And that's the thing. The Northampton Saints, they do come in as quite large underdogs for this contest, but a lot of people still feel they've got a very good chance of being able to walk away with a victory in this game. And to be honest, it's going to be a fast-paced one. It's going to be played at Croke Park, which hopefully I am pronouncing correctly, but this is the first game, like Richard said in the chat, since around that 2009 mark. So they're going to have 80+ thousand in attendance cheering on Leinster. There'll be a few Northampton Saints fans in attendance for this match as well, I'd like to think. Looking through at the previous form, though, of Leinster, of course, they were able to get themselves a nice win over La Rochelle. Unfortunately, their 2 legs in South Africa didn't quite go to plan, losing 44 points to 12 up against the Lions, and then losing 42 points to 12 up against the Stormers. But the good news for them in that regard is the fact that that was more of a developmental side. They didn't go with all out exactly what they would have for this game. They were saving those players, trying to keep everyone fresh, ready to go for this matchup. Then for Northampton, they've been a little bit similar, although they did go with slightly stronger lineups over the last 2 weeks. Their most recent game, though, they did suffer a defeat to the Harlequins. Might have knocked the confidence a little bit, but as you can see there in the quarterfinal, a massive win up against the Bulls, 59 points to the 22. But we are almost at the start of this contest, ladies and gentlemen, only about 5 minutes away from the kickoff. Looking through at the reserves for these two sides, Ronan Kelleher, Ken Healy, and Michael Alatoa will be the front row replacements, with Jacob Jenkins as well as Jack Conan, 2 other men who are making their way from the bench. And that's the thing, Conan, I think, will be absolutely key for Leinster, because they've got 3 handy players out there on the field with Josh Van Den Flair, Caelan Doris, as well as Ryan Beard. And then Conan, if he can just pick up from where they've left off, those 3 men, at least one of them empties the gas tank, and you bring Conan back on, you're in a pretty good position in the overall match. And we know that Northampton were trying to push the pace in their game up against the Bulls. I believe this game will be relatively similar in regards to them trying to up the tempo, trying to wear down on Leinster Of course, the 3 back replacements of McGrath, Byrne and O'Brien will be handy enough for Leinster as well. For Northampton, they have got Sam Matavesi. Now, something that happened throughout their Rugby World Cup was actually his line-out throwing wasn't as successful as it should have been. So that'll be interesting later on in the contest where we see Ronan Kelleher going head-to-head with Sam Matavesi, Miller Mills, as well as Oyogan. In the front row replacements, Timo Mainavanua at number 19 with Angus Scott Young, the Australian, as the number 20. Then James Litchfield as well as Seabrook, the other back replacements for Northampton. But do let me know your score predictions for this game, ladies and gentlemen. Leinster humbled the Bulls at full strength. That one hurt, says Mikel Lowe. And there as well. And of course, those 2 sides, they will be playing off again later on in the URC, more than likely. But you know what, it's going to be exciting. People were actually hoping that they would play each other in this competition. But sadly, it didn't quite work out that way. I hope Leinster blast away Northampton Saints for comments that they are against the Bulls' second-string side. Just remember, South Africa beat England in the World Cup semi-final, says Morne Lagrange. I feel like that seems like it's just an excuse to bring up a result from the World Cup, Morne Lagrange. But that's the thing. Northampton, they beat the side that was in front of them. They couldn't make the Bulls play their strongest lineup. They couldn't send a letter to the coach saying, hey, please give us a stronger side so that we look better on the field. No, they dealt with what was in front of them and they smashed the Bulls in that game. And yes, if it was the Bulls' full-strength side, maybe it could have been a different result. But we will never know that because they didn't bring their best side. Leinster, they have lost their last 2 games in South Africa by around that 30-point margin in both of their contests. They didn't send their strongest lineup to South Africa. We don't know what the result could have been had it been the Irish international side taking to the field. But once again, it's all about that strategy, the long-term picture, and I believe that Leinster, it would be a massive shame for them if they did end up in the scenario of giving away those 2 games in South Africa for the sake of winning this contest, and then they are defeated by the Saints. That would be a pretty tough one for them. I watched the 2011 final between these two. A game of 2 halves. Johnny Sixpence drove the second half like someone possessed. Says Eric and I again, Hamish, Northampton 22, Leinster 15. And who do you want to win? Or don't you want to give it away? Says Mikel. I mean, I really think that both of these sides deserve to be where they are in the competition at the moment. So I'm not too fussed in terms of who wins. Of course, a matchup that is always a dream match. All the voices going. One moment, we're going to need water or else this thing's going to stop working before the kickoff. There we go. Hopefully it sticks around for a little bit longer. But for me, I know that a matchup that a lot of people love to see is what Mr. All in the Game has just put in, Leinster versus Toulouse. That is always considered as the best side in the URC. Well, debatably. Of course, in terms of the regular season, they're the best side, but they haven't actually got that URC title in the last 2 years. And then also, debatably, the best side in France in Toulouse. They've been very strong for a very long time. La Rochelle, they find themselves up against Leinster quite often in these Champions Cup games. But this time, La Rochelle are nowhere to be seen. That is because Leinster were able to finally beat them, knocked them out of the competition. The last 3 times those sides have gone head-to-head, every time it has actually ended up being La Rochelle who win those head-to-heads. But this time, Leinster got the job done. And speaking of Leinster, their starting lineup for this game, we are not too far away from the kickoff of this contest. It is Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan and Tyke Furlong as the front row, Ross Maloney and Joe McCarthy. And the locking duo with Ryan Beard at 6, Josh Van den Flair at number 7, and Caelan Doris slotting in as the number 8. Jamison Gibson Park and Ross Byrne in the 9-10 channel with Jamie Osborne and Robbie Henshaw in the midfield. James Lowe, Jordan Lama and Kieran Frawley will be slotting in as the number 15 for the Saints. They've got 4 Alexes, like I mentioned, one of which is in that number 1 jersey, Alex Waller, alongside Langdon and Davison. Then Alex Moon and Alex Coles, the all Alexes. And the locking duo, Courtney Laws, Sam Graham, and also Augustus there as the number 8. Alex Mitchell and Finn Smith will be the 19 combo with Dingwall, Freeman, Ram Henry, and Furbank as the men who are at the back. Now, I will quickly find what channel this is supposed to be on, because in New Zealand, of course, the game is supposed to kick off now, but we've got some sort of documentary about Newcastle. Now, no offense to Newcastle, but the bloody rugby should be on. So hopefully it is in the very near future, but it does look like they've had a misschedule here. We have to go looking for the game, which hopefully we will be able to find, as that would be very unfortunate if they decided to show a documentary about Newcastle Football Club rather than the Champions Cup semi-final, which is just about to take place. Naneba has coached for Leinster. He is indeed. One moment, I'm about to sneeze, so we will quickly pause. Right, we are good. But yeah, we will hopefully not have to deal with the Newcastle documentary, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go to a different channel and we'll see whether or not they have put it on another one. The game has been delayed by 10 minutes. Has it? Okay, that helps a little bit. Why is it being delayed, Desi? Out of curiosity, but that makes more sense of why we are still watching a documentary about Newcastle, which was very confusing. There is a 10 or 15 minute delay for the game. If they don't broadcast just improv, we will believe you. Says bystander, no offense to Newcastle, said no one ever. Says Sebastian. Record crowd for a semi. It's a massive one, over 80,000 in attendance for this contest. And Stormers should have beat La Rochelle, to be fair. Yeah, well, it's a game of inches, isn't it? Because we saw in the picture, or in that game, in the group stage, right? Stormers, same exact result. They managed to get themselves a last-minute try and they kicked it over with Marnie Libok. Then the exact same player gets the exact same opportunity, but this time in a playoff game, and it doesn't work out for him. Crowd's still getting in. I think that's the first time, I'll be honest, that's the first time that I have covered a rugby game that the game has been delayed because the crowd aren't seated yet. Just tells you how many people will be into Crow Park or how late some of the people must have set their alarms. Live 13 miles from Newcastle United and to test them. Says Eric, the train data is not working over this bank holiday weekend, plus it's being played in Croke Park, rather than Crow Park. But yeah, like I said, I don't think I've ever seen a game be delayed due to traffic or kind of transport to a ground. But I guess that's what happens when you have so many people in attendance. England are saying South African teams are disrespecting Investec Champions Cup. South Africa must still find their footing in Investec Champions Cup. South Africa are not disrespecting any comp. There's Morne Lagrange. Tell you what, there needed to be a full stop in there somewhere, Morne. I was running out of breath by the end of that one. And that's the thing. The Bulls, they've made it in pretty clear in terms of their intentions. They want to win the URC. They weren't fussed about this Champions Cup competition. If they milked a win up against the Saints, they would take it, and they would have gone on to the semis where perhaps we saw one of their stronger lineups. But the Bulls made it clear Jake White wants a URC title, and if they don't get that, that's when the questions start to come in. But until then, it's all a part of strategy. Same with Leinster. They threw away those 2 games in South Africa. The question is, are they going to be able to fire back in the way that they need to get back to top of the table? They have the home field. I'll go for Hampies. Come on, Hampies. Says bad there. They disrespected Super Rugby, though. Can't really argue with that. Says Sebastian, Northampton seems to find the points, and when they need them most, let's go the Saints. Says Michael. And I'll be honest, it's quite cool seeing the amount of support that the Northampton Saints have, because there have been times where it seems like we haven't really had any real Gallagher Premiership viewers on the channel, if that makes sense. It's often more URC and Super Rugby, but it's quite cool seeing a bit of support for the Gallagher Premiership. Had heard a rumour of Geordie Barrett joining Leinster. That's true. And when would he join? So he's going for a sabbatical, I believe in 2025. Just a 6-month one. So he's still eligible for the All Blacks. Croke Park is the headquarters of GAA here in Ireland, and they do not want foreign sports, etc. football, rugby, being played in the stadium, says Richard. I'm going to go with the Saints on this one, says Justin there as well. But yeah, Saints come in as underdogs, but it seems like quite a few people are backing them to be able to get themselves a try in this contest. At least one, that is. Probably about 4 or 5 will be needed in this game up against Leinster. Like I mentioned, we are just waiting for the start of this contest, ladies and gentlemen, with the delay, seeing as the people are still trying to get into the stadium and get ready to go. I very much doubt the Bulls is going to win the URC. The Stormers has the equal chance to win the URC, says Morne Lagrange. Yeah, but it's the thing. It's such an unpredictable competition, isn't it, the URC? We look at Leinster each and every year sitting top of the table, and then they get knocked out before making it to that final. Now, that's probably pretty harsh to Leinster supporters, so I do apologise for for that one Gloucester-Benetton result. So in the end, Gloucester managed to get themselves the win in that contest. I believe it was 40 points to 23. Your voice is starting to give up on you. You might have pushed yourself too hard today. If you got any water near you, I do. We drank some of it before to try and keep the voice like here. The other problem is I'm currently sick. Like I got sick on about, I think it was Thursday. So my voice is pretty much struggling because my throat is pretty rough at the moment as well. Like it's going to hurt tomorrow, I think. And we've still got more streams that we're going to be covering on the channel as well. Sure, the lucky people who are going to see the game, they are not allowed to bring drinks, etc. to their seats. Says Richard, it does look like a huge amount of attendance for this game. I highly doubt the Stormers will even get to the semis with their inconsistencies this season. Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because maybe they actually kick in and really dig in deep when it comes to the playoff games. Like sometimes those underdogs are actually the ones who are the most dangerous, the ones that you can't really predict from their season. What's GAA? We have got there, as we all should, an 82,000 tickets sold in Crow Park, getting a massive rental fee. I think you'll find that this arrangement suits everyone. Says JS2000, but they are just showing the, once again, lineup for the Leinster side. We will put them on the screen as well so you guys can see. And shout out from Cape Town, South Africa, mate. Says Johan van der Merwe. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are keeping well. For Leinster in their starting lineup, it is Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, and Tyke Furlong as the front row. Ross Maloney and Joe McCarthy find themselves in the locking duo. For the loose forward trio will be Ryan Beard starting at number 6 with Josh Van den Flare and Caelan Doris as the other two in the loose forward trio. Jameson Gibson Park and Ross Byrne in the 9-10 channel with Osborne Henshaw on the outside. And then Lowe Lama and Kieran Frawley, 3 men who are in great form heading into this contest. In particular, big shout out there for Jordan Lama in the starting lineup for Northampton. It is Alex Waller. It is going to be Langdon and Davison to close out the rest of the front row. Alongside them, it will be Alex and Alex, with Alex Moon and Coles in the locking duo. And Courtney Laws playing 6 with Sam Graham and Augustus at number 8. Now, I am going to be keeping a close eye out for Courtney Laws, mainly because of that work in the breakdown. He will try and get those long arms over and get those turnovers. Could be absolutely crucial, but also Wano Augustus at number 8. He's an absolute tank of a man going into with Caelan Doris here. I think it should be a very entertaining one. They have got Alex Mitchell and Finn Smith as the 9-10 combo. Dingwall and Freeman. Those two men just are pretty much speed personified in terms of what they've been able to do throughout the last few games for the Northampton Saints. They love to push the pace. They love to put their opposition under pressure, and that is exactly what we are going to see here. Henry out on one wing, Ram out on the other, and then George Furbank slotting in as number 15. But Courtney Laws leading the Northampton Saints, just about to make their way out onto the field. We have got there what's wrong with Leinster fans. They do not, do they not know sit in a chair? This is ridiculous. Says Monet Lagrange. I mean, if everyone's standing though, like surely you also stand. That's just normally what happens, isn't it? Like if someone's standing in front of you and you can't see, you're going to stand up so that you can see, and then it's just going to be a repeat chain overall. Something tells me you're a little bit annoyed that Leinster are in the semi-final rather than a South African side, Morné Lagrange. I'm just getting that little bit of a feel from you at this point, that there's a little bit of annoyedness coming because there's no South African side here. And stay single, Hamish. Birds are too complicated. You have the right idea. Says bystander. Come on, Leinster, says Dr. Dude. And have Northampton ever made a final? Not that I can recall, but I could be wrong. Northampton Saints says Joshua Miller. And Finn Smith is the key player. His boot has to be spot on today. And I mean, we saw it in the game between the Sharks and Clement Masuku getting 8 from 8. That was a brilliant performance from him, and it actually helped them win by just the 1 point. Sharks are in the Challenge Cup final. They certainly are, and they're going head-to-head with Gloucester, a English side, in only 3 months' time. And come on, Northampton, says could I see there? And also, Morney would probably call security on the people standing, says Justin. And South Africans just don't like Irish, that's all, says Aaron. And we played Leinster in the final before and bottled it, says George Also, they have made it to the final, the Saints. And Stormers blew it with Marnie hurt, yes. Says bystander, but the crowd are on their feet, which of course made Mornay very angry, but we are now ready to go for this contest, ladies and gentlemen. Saints will be kicking off from right to left. You're going to hear me say Saints marching in at least once in this matchup, but we are underway for the Champions Cup semi-final. It is kicked off deep and nicely taken by James Lowe, who gets it away to Caelan Doris, and already we see that physicality on offer from the Saints. Bottom 15 points on the final 10 in 2011. Is that the last time they were in a final, George? And Northampton have been in 2 finals in 2000 and 2011, winning in 2000. It's been a little while, it is fair to say, but that is going to be a good clearing kick from Ross Byrne. Now the Northampton Saints with the line-out throw with Curtis Langdon, sitting about 40 metres out from the line. They take it quickly, and it's knocked on by Mitchell. Bit of a rare mistake, doesn't often put them down. And have to tune in to this one. Had a family friend who played for Northampton back in the days, no boast. Says Nars Williams, backline movement coming for Leinster. James Lowe putting it in behind off his left boot, and it's curled. Is that a 50-22? No, they say it is going to be the Saints line out, but that must have been very close to the 50-22 for James Lowe. The knock on from Alex Mitchell. Oh yeah, just about a metre inside of the half of Northampton, but they will be about 5 metres out from their own line with the line out as keyboard warriors need to settle. State backs will get back on the field. So here's a bystander, and Saints also won the Challenge Cup in 2009 and 2014. So here's all in the game. So it's been a little while since I've been able to lift some trophy of some sort in this regard. Currently doing very well in the current Gallagher Premiership standings. Kick downfield from the Saints. Now onto the halfway line. Loose ball. Cleaned up by Frawley, who did initially drop it. Now looking for the cross kick. It sits up for Jordan Lama, but he has knocked that ball on now down the wing. Opportunity for the speedster George Henry. Now he was great in the game up against the Bulls. They're going back for the original knock on, and unlike that game between the Sharks and Clermont, we're going to have ourselves a scrum. Now, we only got our first scrum in that game in about the 30th minute, I believe it was. This game, it's only taken 2, and you can tell already that the players are nervous out there on the field, going for some risky passes, trying to get that first try on the board to help build the confidence. And go the Saints, says McKell there. Now, chance at scrum time for the Saints. It's going to be up against a pretty much all Irish international forward pack. We got the eyes there from Kerr. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are keeping well. Who are you going for in this game, Kerr? Out of curiosity, are you going for Leinster or are you going for the Saints as the underdog? I don't like the world bad-mouthing South Africa, and yes, I'm disappointed there's no South African teams in the semis. Says Mornay, that is a big push, and it's actually going to be the penalty to the Saints. Now, for a second, it looked like the referee, Matthew Reynell, was considering a reset, but instead decides that they will get the penalty, and they will have the opportunity to kick this one towards the touchline. Now the Saints, the type of side that don't like taking 3-pointers. They love getting 7s on the board and just stacking them up. Yeah, it looks like it just wheeled a little bit on, I think that was Andrew Porter's side, so that was Trevor Davison who got in the good shove. Now line out throw here for the Saints going in. Nicely claimed by Courtney Laws with his arms that are 15 metres long. Or at least they seem that way when he gets into a breakdown. Score deficit for this match. See his bystander. Oh, that's another knock on from the Saints. A lot of early errors coming from both sides. And we are going to have ourselves now the second scrum. And only the first 4 minutes of this contest. A scrum each way. Northampton get a feed. And Leinster now will have a feed of their own. We have got there, we'll get there, Mornay. And then the cap will be loose, says Zender. Yeah, just another knock on. One of the Alexes, of course, there are 4 of them on the field for Northampton in this contest. But, I honestly don't think these two sides will be split by a huge amount because of the aggressive nature of Northampton. They might find themselves down at times in this game and then possibly fire back 2 quick tries to get back into it He was just asking which team do you support. Kerr was typing, Morna. He was just writing it out. Hoping for the Saints. For one simple reason, English rugby needs as much help as possible. Stop the collapse that is coming if they don't change things. That is true. And I mean, we've seen Gloucester make their way through to the Challenge Cup final, which will be pretty awesome for them. But having an English side, whether it is the Quins or whether it's the Saints, would be pretty beneficial, like you said, for the Gallagher Premiership and England Rugby. But now Leinster in possession, 45 metres out. Back across to the right-hand side, low with a bounce pass. Another knock on, this time coming from Dan Sheehan. Matthew Raynell said it's gone backwards. I have no idea. Yeah, there we go. It is the clear knock on. And the touch judge says, nah, we're not doing that. That is a knock on. And chin up, Mornay. At least the Sharks have a chance to win the Peasant Cup. 22-20, Leinster bringing it home. Or being at home, says bystander. It's been 10 years since the Saints won a real major trophy. But our favourites with Sarries to win the Premiership and Courtney Laws and Owen Farrell's last season with both clubs. And like that will leave a big gap for the two teams, of course. And it looks like they're a little rusty. I mean, I'd say that Northampton also would look a little bit rusty in this contest. So I think both sides find themselves in the exact same boat here. The demise of England Rugby is a sad thing to watch regardless of who you support. Well, that's the thing. When those Gallagher Premiership sides were getting taken away because of financial issues, like that was very sad. Like the Wasps, I used to love watching the Wasps play. And then who else did they lose? They lost Worcester. Did they lose one more as well, Russ, because they weren't playing for 3 weeks? Says Zender. Now running forward, another knock on from the Northampton Saints. Like they've said, it's a scrappy first 6 minutes. Both sides, a little bit of intensity there between Jameson Gibson Park and Alex Mitchell. Now, I can only apologise for my voice, ladies and gentlemen. I am currently a bit sick. And also, alongside that, we have done about 10 hours of streaming today, which has started adding up on the miles on the voice. London Irish, says Eric Davison. Oh, yeah, the London Irish. I remember when Waisaki Naholo was out there on the field for them. Bring back Andrew Blower's Saints. He still got it. Says Nars Williams. Northampton for the win here. Get him, Courtney. Says Blues Nate there as well. Yo, fella, says Ollie HD. Welcome in, mate. If you are keeping well from a selfish point of view, Leinster going through helps keep pressure on them for the final of the URC games. There's a benefit for Glasgow. Mixed feelings. The Saints take it, says Kerr there. Now off short to Robbie Henshaw. Sort of boy out. We can watch this game for 3. I think it's on ITV as the option for you guys if you're in the UK. If you're not in the UK, it's a little bit more tricky. But if you go onto the Champions Cup website, they have a section called Where to Watch, and you can see whereabouts in the world your options are. And Leicester will run away with this game in the second half, 37-18, says Johan there as well. Now going back across to the left-hand side for Leinster. They are sitting 42 metres out from the try line. Byrne with the skip pass finding Joe McCarthy. Kicked him behind from Jameson Gibson Park, looking for the territory and miscommunication. Henry has done well, or has he? Referee says there was a knock on. And Northampton, that is about their 5th handling error in the first 8 minutes of this contest. Sharks playing Gloucester in the final of the Challenge Cup. What do you think of that final? It should be an interesting one. Of course, the Sharks, because they are so low on the URC table, they have nothing really to play for in that competition. So the benefit that they've got is they can put all of their focus into the Challenge Cup and walking away as champions. The Gloucester, they are another side that will be tough to beat. We saw them playing well up against Benetton. Courtney Laws, nice bloke. When I viewed him, his Jim Hamilton interview, says bystander. Now another scrum feed here for Leinster. They get ready to feed this ball in. And Glasgow have a tough last 3 of the URC. Bulls will be the biggest challenge. Lions won't be a walk in the park, but they should win. And Zebra can easily cause an upset against big sides. Yeah, the fact that those 2 games up against South African sides is in South Africa as well. It's going to be a tough finish, but it's going to definitely test them for the next games that they've got coming up. You just hope that they get out of it injury-free. Joe McCarthy, 10 metres out from the line. Gibson Park passes it back across to the right-hand side to Ryan Beard. They've got themselves the penalty advantage here, Leinster. So this is at least 3 points if they want it, but I believe they will go for the full 7. I believe that was the number 12 saying to go out to the left to James Lowe. Man, my voice sounds awful tonight. Now, Jameson Gibson Park about to go to the right-hand side. He's nice and laid-back guy. Seems chilled. Says Blues, Nate. Gibson Park goes back across to Ross Byrne. Short ball to Tyke Furlong, who took a massive shot there. And they'll go back for the original penalty. Oh, he's taking a quick tap there. Jameson Gibson Park and gets it out wide to James Lowe, and Leinster score first in the semi-final. I didn't actually expect them to take that one quickly. I thought that they might just take the early 3, but they decided that they wanted to push the tempo and push the pace early. That's exactly what they have been able to do. The first points of the day go the way of Leinster. And yeah, just a wide cut out pass goes right over the top. Voice is fine, mate. Hope you feel better soon, though, says Mikkel. But yeah, it's just inconvenient timing that we ended up getting sick just before the weekend. The worst thing is we were only sick about maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago as well, and it's always a sevens weekend when we are sick heading into the weekend, because they are always the ones that we have like 25 or 30 hours of streaming in the weekend and only like maybe 5 hours of sleep. Jameson Gibson Park's going to disappear off to Turkey, come back with a full header here. Says all in the game and need some honey and green tea, Hamish. Says right, and yes sir, says Aaron. Now lining up this kick, it is Ross Byrne. Taking his time and has got that one over, so that'll make the score now 7-0 in favour of Leinster. And amazing how us viewers have an opinion of people via the stream or broadcast. Lots of show for TV. Gents are good people most of the time, says a bystander. But yeah, good thinking brain. Oh, I think Frawley almost got poked in the eye there in the try celebrations. But yeah, really good thinking from Jameson Gibson Park to then get that pass out wide to James Lowe. A nice attack and run here again from Caelan Doris. Gets it away to Josh Van den Flower. Looks like Leinster want to try and match that tempo that we are used to seeing for the Northampton Saints. Tackle on Frawley by George Henry. Both men have ginger here, which I felt like was an important thing to mention in that scenario. Would you rather listen to an album of Ebsabeth rapping or a heavy metal album sung by Retallick? Oh, that's an awkward landing. I have no idea how to answer that one, Justin. I feel like we'd have to hear both. See which one is better. I live in Turkey. I can tell I'm the best bars to recover in. And they serve alcohol in Turkey. And what an intercept. Says Aaron there by Courtney Laws now. Sitting 55 metres out from the Leinster line. Nice stepping from Augustus. And Leinster should win this. The Saints will put up a fight. Says Brian, beautiful interception for Ross Byrne. He's got to put on the afterburners, but he doesn't seem to have that pace. But that was a perfectly timed steal. Now Porter looks both ways. Decides that he will go himself. Gibson Park back across to Robbie Henshaw. To Caelan Doris. Smooth jazz by Royard on the saxophone. I would listen to that. And the man's got plenty of free time at the moment since he is injured. So hopefully the album's coming soon. Gibson Park, little grabber in behind. And Lowe just can't quite keep it in the field of play. They're going back for the original penalty, though, in favour of Leinster. And they have been strong in the opening moments of this contest. And Bowden would have backed his pace and gone for the corner. Says all in the game and lovely by Leinster so far. Says Aaron there as well. Like they said, Ross Byrne just didn't quite have the toe that he needed to be able to get around this Northampton Saints backline. Opera music by Fakatava. Could be interesting. Oh, and this is an interesting one. Leinster have decided that they want to kick for the corner here rather than taking on the 3 points. They want the 7. They want to keep the momentum on. They want to get themselves their second try of the semi-final. I'm Irish and I like both teams. Says Karma Pitch. Now Dan Sheehan throwing this one in over the top. Nicely claimed. It looks like Doris has got the ball in his hands. He's going to reach out. He's been barrel rolled backwards and Lowe gets his second as he fires it into the stands. Leinster have all momentum and they are trying to book themselves that spot straight to the Champions Cup final. Their bogey team's gone. They beat them in the last round, La Rochelle. Before that stage, it was 3 losses for Leinster in a row to that French side. Now that they're not there, Leinster are really thriving. A winner of this take on the winner of Harlequins and Toulouse. That is correct, yep. So a lot of people want to see it be Leinster versus Toulouse as that final. A great work from Caelan Doris, who was on his back over the line, but managed to get the offload away to Gibson Park, who just slapped it on like he was playing volleyball. And tough to think of a team that could put in to Leinster how they're playing, says Aaron. And be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Says Sebastian there, I wouldn't mind a Leinster versus Harlequins. Yeah, it's probably a match we don't see too often, actually, now that I think about it. Toulouse versus Leinster, we've seen a little bit over the last maybe 5 years or so. But Harlequins, Leinster, can't actually remember the last time that match took place. It's probably within the last 3 or so years, but not sure of the exact date for that one. Chance out wide, though, for Ross Byrne to be able to line up this kick. And has hit the post and bounced back out, so the score will remain at 12 points to 0. If it's the Quins, Leinster will be champs, says Zender. So if it's Toulouse, you think it's a little bit more 50-50. I'd love Leinster versus Quins, to be honest, says Sebastian. Yeah, just nicely slapped away by Jameson Gibson Park at the moment. It's just those two dominating for Leinster. And Leinster has too much star power, says Justin there. And Northampton Saints are being taken apart by Leinster. It makes me smile, says Monet Lagrange. I thought you didn't like Leinster. Do you just not like any other side that isn't South African, Mornay? Running forward, the Northampton Saints, they haven't had a huge amount of possession at the moment. Throughout the first 17 minutes, looks like Alex Mitchell will go for the box kick, but no one chasing it. Gibson Park takes it just outside of his 22, goes across to Byrne, running onto it was Jamie Osborne. Doesn't look for the offload. And that looks like it was close to the counter-attack there from the Northampton Saints. Ball could have popped out, but once again, it's going to be a knock-on advantage there against the Saints. Mornay is a Bull supporter, says Justin. Now charged down, nicely taken by Leinster off the charge. And I think that's Dan Sheehan has tried the kick. It's gone straight to the Saints. And Justin agreed. The nice thing is that it's mostly stars developed by Leinster, not brought in. A few brought in, don't get me wrong, but development is fantastic. Yeah, I think that the youth system at the moment, like the developmental side of things for Leinster, the under-20 system is really, really strong. And it seems to be bringing up a lot of great players. We look at someone like a Joe McCarthy, who only a couple years ago probably didn't even get really a look in, and now he's a starting number 5 for Ireland. Is there an actual live stream? If you are on ITV, I believe you are able to watch the game for free. But the Champions Cup website is the best way of finding your other options of being able to watch the game. Jordan Lama takes it now, goes to James Lowe, kicks it downfield on his left boot. Cheap undies Hamish, it changes teams everywhere at any time. Says a Blues Nate, now passed on the outside. Quick hands, nicely controlled, but then it is knocked on by the Saints again. And it's going to be another scrum feed. By contrast, Glasgow Development World Talent, or Develop World Talent, and then they let them leave. Yeah. Which is not ideal. Of course, you want to try and keep those players in your system for as long as possible. Thanks, Brian. I'll make a note of that. Says Zender. Just another knock on. One moment. I am about to sneeze, ladies and gents, so we will quickly mute ourselves. We are good. Hopefully. ITV coverage is tomorrow, Sunday, not today. Is it? Oh, so they haven't actually got this game on ITV. They have got a couple other options on their website. I can't quite remember the names of them though, bless you. It says all in the game, and I am Justin from work. Am I reading the score right? You certainly are. 12-0 after the 19 minutes. Thanks, Brian. I'll make a note of that. And also, Saints says Naz Williams. And bless you says Naz Williams there as well. Hopefully I don't look as bad as my voice sounds at the moment. Like I mentioned, we've done quite a few live streams this weekend, a lot more than I did anticipate, and we've got a lot more coming tomorrow as well. We're going to be doing more sevens, also covering Toulouse versus Harlequins. Should be a fantastic game. It's not everywhere, says Ronan. And there as well. Now, ball's going to be available for Leinster to use off the back of their scrum. Caelan Doris going back across to Jameson Gibson Park. Now Jamie Osborne, great step there. Manages to get through one defender. In the end, it's Mitchell who manages to drag him down. Gibson Park looking for a bit of territory. It's close to the touchline. Stays in the field of play. And it is booted downfield by George Fairbank. You look like a young Aidan Markram. I'll take it. To be fair, like that's probably a compliment for myself. Oh, that ball's gone through the two defenders for the Saints. Cleaned up again at the back for George Fairbank, and he does get it into touch. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the Saints, though. When Leinster start throwing their attack at you, you have to shut it down. I don't like Northampton Saints for all the comments they made. Leinster, I like the way the rugby. And no, I'm not Bull supporter, but a huge Stormer supporter. There's a Morne Lagrange in there as well. But anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're going to be back with plenty more action. And in our future, Markram is a good-looking lad. That's why I took it as a massive compliment, to be fair to Markram. Decent cricketer too, which is more than I could possibly say about myself at times. Nicely claimed by Caelan Doris. On the halfway line. Gibson Park going back across to Byrne with the inside ball to McCarthy. At the moment, Leinster just seem to be able to carve gaps in this defence. Gibson Park milks that one. And Joel goes back for the penalty. He decided he would pass it into an offside player for the Saints. It's one of those ones that if it was Northampton who did it, the crowd would boo him out of the stadium. Because it's Gibson Park, they give a little cheer for the cheeky tactics. Markram is inundated with ladies, says Zender. And I look like an old Brian-esque, says Brian in there. So they are going to be kicking it towards the touchline. Right, Matthew Raynell pretty much said, yep, it's a penalty this time, but stop it. Don't do it again. Is chat getting spicy? Maybe a little bit. I feel like maybe eating like a really hot chili would help with the sinuses. Is that how it works? I know that you're supposed to have like lemon and honey and whatnot, but does like having a really spicy chili, would that help? I don't handle spice though. I can only eat sweet chili sauce before I'm like, oh, that's a bit hot. And now Leinster sitting about 15 metres out from the try line. If they can get themselves another one within this first half, tell you what, Augustus, he's dropped the ball again for the Saints. And at the moment, it seems like they're playing with a completely different ball than Leinster because they have hardly been able to hang on to it. We've got the little chili there from Kerr. Robbie Henshaw goes forward. The left-hand side now. A little bit of a counter ruck coming from the Saints. Whenever I'm sick with the flu, I eat a hot curry. I might have to do that tomorrow, perhaps. But it will be mild because I can't handle spice. Morning, Kiwi Lad says, Yoni, welcome in, mate. If you're doing well, massive shot coming in on Josh Van den Flair there by Alex Waller. Now drop ball this time from Leinster. And Van der Flair a little bit lower or a little bit slower to get back to his feet. Maybe we should do the Hot Ones challenge. Yeah, but I'd start at sweet chili sauce and be like, nah, I'm going to have to tap out because this is too spicy. Get the chilies to go at halftime on here. And we will see. Tell you what, that would be a brutal forfeit for a live stream. Imagine that, trying to do a second half of rugby after eating like a spicy chili. A hot curry helps you sleep. I did not know that. I'm eating that for lunch now, a hot chili, a coincidence. And the curry just moves the explosion from your nose to your ass. Probably a fair assessment there. There's a little resemblance between UNA and Markram, and that's true, says Justin. Now the ball for the... Oh, they've knocked it on again. The boys cannot touch the ball without dropping it at the moment for the Saints. Like people are saying in the commentary box, what has happened to the Saints? And this is one that for the coaches just makes you frustrated. You've worked so hard to get to this stage of the competition just to drop the ball every single pass that is made. Keeper leader of Milk Candy. I've been there, mate, weeping and howling like a wolf at 2 in the night from a spicy curry. Says Sebastian. Do I sense a challenge coming? Donation button at the ready? No. Not with spice. Because that would just be a death wish for myself. A lemon, maybe. I wouldn't mind a lemon. But then it would still be bad enough that I wouldn't enjoy a lemon, if that makes sense. That's going to be a free kick going the way of the Saints. Now, Alex Mitchell have the chance to take it quickly, and he does. Looking for that next pass. Can they hang on to the ball for more than one face? The Saints probably have butterfingers. Says Morne Lagrange. Nice tackle made by Tyg Furlong. On his opposite number there, Davison. Flat pass straight to Sam Graham. And Leinster just all over them at the moment. Alex Mitchell, though, managing to bust through one tackle attempt. Yeah, but try explaining to the missus. Or have your ass in a tub of ice cream as you like crying on the kitchen floor at 2 a.m. That sounds like a tough scenario to be in. Oh, that's close. Another steal in the... Sorry, I'm choking. I need to stop getting sick just before the weekends where there's the most rugby on. 12-0 at the moment for Leinster. They are sitting 26 minutes in a prime position. Go on, and Lemon is a killer for the flu, and Famu Caps. See, it's bad there. And been busy with the family and works. Gave this bit a thumbs up. Well, thank you very much, Yoni. It is, of course, greatly appreciated. Leinster kicking this one towards the touchline. They will once again have the line-out throw with Dan Sheehan. Already 26 in. First half has been absolutely flying by. Now, of course, this is the first of 2 semi-finals for the Champions Cup. The next one taking place tomorrow night to lose. To lose. There we go. Got it out. Versus Harlequins. Although easier to explain a tub of ice cream than an ice pole. Probably also true. Where does one buy an ice pole? I wonder. I guess you can get one sculpted, couldn't you? But any shape like that's going to look a little bit hard to explain. That's going to be another knock on this time. But first it was knocked on by Leinster. So Northampton are going to have themselves the scrum feed. Crowd still chanting for them. It's possibly the most streams you've made in one day. You know what the sad thing is? It's actually not. And it's probably about maybe 3 or 4 live streams short of our most that we've done throughout a period. I remember the last time that I was sick, I actually wrote it in my notes because it was ridiculous. Or it might have actually been before that, actually, a week prior or a couple of weeks beforehand. But I wrote out my hours that I did. And of course now I probably won't be able to find it. Oh, I can search in my notes. Hours. See what we can find. Yeah. So, one weekend, this was on early February. In fact, well, no, I'll tell you now while I've got a scrum reset. Early February, we did 64 hours of being awake with 6 hours of napping in between. We did 7 videos throughout that time. We were live for 841 minutes over the weekend, which equated to over 14 hours. And yeah, 64 hours of being awake with only 6 hours of naps. We've got a donation from Kerr. Thank you very much. This is so funny. I don't even care about the rugby that much anymore compared to this, says Andy. Well, we do appreciate you being here, mate. This looks like an early penalty at scrum time. Again goes the way of Leinster, so they will now go for the 3 points. But yeah, hugely appreciated, Kerr. That is how many chilies I will not be eating. Because they are spicy, aren't they? This ghost chili pepper. It'll be a shadow of its former self. Says Eric. Yeah, this will give them a 15-point lead here, Leinster, so they'll be pretty happy with that. Sounds like your voice is nearly gone. Yeah, it almost is, to be fair. But hopefully it comes back tomorrow. If it doesn't, I'll have to learn sign language. But you guys will also have to learn sign language so you know what I'm saying. Or else it would just be me doing the signals and you guys wouldn't know what's happening. And 10 quid can buy enough ice cream to cool down your ass. That's a fun sentence, isn't it? But that kick has gone over 15 points to 0. Anyone who's just tuned in now and seen that comment from you, Seb, as the first message that they see, will be very confused. We were talking about chilies earlier on. Anyone who's just popping in, that looks like it's going to be a stoppage now. What's happened? What's happened? Northampton have been penalised for being ahead of the kicker. 3 players offside. Looks like an Irish win. Carolina Reapers, not just any chili. Use puppets. Says, right, hopefully you don't have ice cream for dessert on Sundays. Tell you what I do want, though. I remember Livestream late night about, what was it, maybe 7 months ago. We had a cheesecake on the stream, and it was fantastic, so I might have to do that again. Not on stream, but just have a cheesecake after the weekend. Get some gay time ice lollies. Says giddy giddy. And also we have got their quack up. All this blowhole going here, says Blues Nate. Big push from the Saints, but the penalty still goes the way of Leinster. That wasn't me laughing, by the way. That was me trying not to choke. Ty Furlong fired up early. The funny thing is, I'm still saying it's early, but it's 31 minutes in. A tea with lemon and honey at halftime. I mean, I've got water, so that might help a little bit. Therapy fund after the chili challenge, says Kerr. How about we have like a cheesecake challenge? I'd much rather that. You know, see if I can eat a whole cheesecake in one sitting. That would probably do just as much damage, to be fair. Six penalties against the Saints. And short side, Dan Sheehan, 10 metres from the line. Another opportunity for Leinster to get on the attack. Caelan Doris, 15-0 is a decisive advantage. Sorry, I don't know why that took me so long to work out the word decisive. But yeah, if they can score one more try, she's all but over, I would say. Unless we see a massive, massive second half. Big shot coming in on Joe McCarthy and over the ball. That'll be the penalty for the Northampton Saints again. My girlfriend caught me with the lad and a pint of milk. Is that how you fill it up? She purred. Eh? I feel like I didn't understand that one, Eric. Caught me with the lad. Oh, no, I've worked it out. Why'd she purr, though? Is your girlfriend a cat, Eric? Imagine if cats spoke English. I feel like they'd be very brutal. Like, they just swear at you all the time for no reason. That looked like a pop pass from the line-out. Could have ended up going against them there, the Saints. But now running it forward, here comes Dingwall, which is still the most fun name to say out of everyone on the field. And there are some close seconds. Now, still there for the Saints, keeping Mitchell at bay. Says Eric. Dingwall goes over the top now to Courtney Laws, who's out on the wing. Has a Jameson, gives him Park on his leg. So that stopped him from being able to march forward. Augustus now dragged down again. Just about trying to find that gap here. At the moment, we've got a super sticker from Brian. And as well, thank you very much. Every time I see it, I think it says try because, of course, it's got that, well, it's got try written there, doesn't it, just there. But thank you very much, Brian. Greatly appreciated there once again with the super sticker. And Saints doing a massive improvement massive disappointment, this half. Yeah, it hadn't been good at the moment for the Saints, unfortunately. We'll quickly get up the studio so we can see what your super sticker is, Brian. We're not gone by Leinster this time, and we will go back for another scrum, which we have had a lot of. throughout the early stages of this match. One moment, I am about to sneeze again. We are good. But it is a little heart that says thanks from Brian. So thank you very much, Brian. Thank you for your heart. Wait, Kerr, do your donations get likes? Is that possible? Send a heart. Oh. How'd you get likes on your donations, Kerr? You got 3 likes on your therapy fund after the chili challenge comment. When did that become a thing? Is that a thing? It's got 5 likes now. Okay, so people have worked out how to do it somehow. How do you do that? I don't even know how YouTube works. I just send money. You certainly do. And a lot of it, Kerr, over the years. It's a new YouTube feature, fan funding reactions. That's quite cool, isn't it? So you can kind of, I guess, leave a like on someone's donation. Now that sounds like a challenge, to be fair, but we don't want to get into that too much. 5 minutes remaining here, another line-out throw for the Northampton Saints. This is their best chance of being able to score a try throughout the whole of this first half. Now going back across to the left-hand side. Running forward, it's going to be Sam Graham. He's just ragdolled by this Leinster defensive line. They'll like the donation, but not the stream, says Justin. Although, to be fair, I don't think I've ever heard a streamer say, be sure to leave a like on the latest donation. Notice that 2 weeks ago, Hamish, you can likes. Am I that far behind that I'm 2 weeks behind knowing that you can do it? Can I do it? The icon underneath. Yes, so Kerr's donation has now got 7 likes. That's quite cool. You got more likes than my live stream, Kerr. Now nicely looping around here. Saints with a short ball to Augustus. And I'll be honest, with how many times that the Saints have dropped the ball in this game, and also with the factor of like not really being able to control this game the way that they were able to in their last contest, it does mean that it's been pretty repetitive viewing, if that makes sense, because of the fact that every time the Saints just lose that ball. Do it again, says Eric there. I didn't even know it was a thing. Now I'm curious about it. How many likes has it got now? It's got 8 likes. Stream's got 44, so we're doing all right in that regard. I think the likes a new little chip in behind from the Saints. 3 minutes left. Leinster fire it back across for Byrne. Now Lama does get it out. This is the best chance, like I mentioned, for the Saints to be able to get back into this contest. It's going to be pretty tricky overall. 2 minutes and a half. 15-point lead at the moment for Leinster. And last week too, says Robert. So my question is, can people like Brian's one as well? Or is it only when it's like a message one that you can like it? Because I don't have the option of liking Brian's, but I do have the option of hearting Kerr's like that, which I think I just did. It's now on 10 likes. Kerr, you're more popular than half the streams that we've done today. So Ross Maloney has stayed down with some sort of injury here. 2 minutes remaining. Do it. Message one. Okay, so it's got to be a message to be able to have a like on it. Can you guys see the heart that I put on Kerr's donation, by the way? Or is that only something that I can see? Or maybe only Kerr can see that? Currently 37 minutes through. Like I've just mentioned, it seems like Northampton are a little bit shell-shocked. Yes, says Justin. Oh, okay, so you can see the little like on it as well as the heart. Nice. I don't even know how YouTube work. My donation isn't enough for a like. I think you had to put a message, Brian, maybe. Or because it's a super sticker, maybe. That was why it didn't let you. Apparently it's just available for super chats, not super stickers as well. Everyone liked Kerr's message, and I can see it says Zender. I'm about to throw this one in for the Saints. Taken at the front by Courtney Laws. Donation just for the likes, says Kerr. Yeah, everyone hit like on Kerr's donation. Let's see how many we can get it to. And yes, says Robert. Oh, it was almost an awkward one for the knee of Curtis Langdon first, says Eric. They've got an advantage here again, the Saints. Now, if they score here and they go into halftime only 8 down, they'll be pretty happy with that. And this is a great opportunity for them to be, oh no, he's thrown the ball bloody forward. Again, every time, Kerr a fat cat, says Zender. Not sure where you've got that analogy from. The man does a lot of steps each day, from what I have seen anyway. You've got 14 likes on your donation, Kerr. I'll give you a heart. 17! Sorry, this has become a little game, hasn't it? But unfortunately, Northampton, they just keep dropping the ball. So every time they get a good chance, I'll try some memberships. Can I get likes for that? Hopefully. But it probably won't let you, I guess. They're actually going to take on the 3 points here, Northampton. They've got 35 seconds remaining. Okay, fat pockets, says Zender. And love it, says Blues Nate. Brian's gifted the 5 memberships. So thank you very much, Brian. That kick from Finn Smith is good. And that is now going to make the score 15 points to 3. Can we? No, we aren't able to gift. We aren't able to like the membership thing. But I do see that Gus, Novmum, Mr. All-In, Grant, and Fluffy were all gifted memberships from Brian. So that is very generous of yourself. And Grant is now a member. Get in. Tell you what, it'll be the first time Grant's been a member, I believe, on the channel. 20 likes on your last donation, Kerr, as well. You're a popular bloke. It's kicked off by Leinster. Now slap back Josh Van and Flair. Last chance here. Looks like they're going for the right-hand side here for Leinster. Welcome, mate. Says O'Brien. Now short ball from Byrne to Andrew Porter. Now to the left. We can hear the crowd starting to get behind this Leinster side. Another offload from McCarthy goes to Henshaw. Now he's been a member before, but he has his tight-ass moments, Sebastian. The smoke a doobie, it also helps with the flu, says Justin. So I feel like I'd much rather just eat a cheesecake, which I know is like not going to help me with the flu, but you know when you just crave something when you're sick, cheesecake for me would do it, I think. I had a cheesecake when we were on a holiday near Christmas. I was with George's family, and they got a cheesecake that was a baked cheesecake. And it was interesting, but it was actually quite nice. But I don't think I can get that here. Now offload again from McCarthy, going away to the left-hand side. Good spin from Jordan Lama. And Leinster don't seem like they want this half to end. They want one last try. Added chili cheesecake. How about strawberry? I think that's a good negotiation. Do love me a strawberry cheesecake. Now off to the left, Crawley. In fact, it was Frawley that time, my apologies. Back across to Ross Maloney. Nah, boot the Shigamish, not good for you, says Zender. It may not be good for you. But cheesecake on a sick day is a lovely thought. You know? Now short ball to Tyke Furlong. Gives them back, going off to the right-hand side. And they will kick this one into touch, Northampton. 15 points to 3 at half-time in favour of Leinster. And I'll be honest, from this performance, I want Leinster to win. Just because I feel like they'll at least give us a decent showing in the final, whereas Northampton, now we've seen that maybe they are a bit of a hot and cold team, which would be a shame. I love a tart. I haven't really had much of a tart before, I don't think. What's a type of tart? Like a caramel tart or like a lemon tart? I don't think I've had a tart. Maybe ever. Grilled cheese sandwiches can be good for colds. Oh, that sounds good. It's currently 5:25 a.m. here, so I think if I was to have anything, I'd have to have it tomorrow. Fruit tarts, love them. I don't think I've ever had a fruit tart, which is quite sad. Sounds like I'm missing out. Or, no, I think I've had one type of tart ages ago. It might have been like a chocolate tart. Mermaids in Auckland have fantastic tarts, says Kerr. And here in South Africa, we have milk tart and peppermint crisp tarts, both really good. And what specific tart are you referring to? Well, I was referring to the food, but I think some people are maybe referring to something else. The Sevens, the first live stream that we are doing tomorrow, ladies and gents. I believe the plan is to start at... we go like this. I think the first stream, ideally, that we want to do is going to be between Samoa and Canada at 3:52 p.m. There we go, just as I thought, Kerr. It's the jock in you, Hamish. It keeps rejecting fruit, says Sebastian. And Hamish's smile tells me you are aware of mermaids. I mean, I did the maths in my head. I wasn't sure what you meant by mermaids per se, but I assumed that you were talking about something because of that smirky face at the end. I thought it must have meant something. Tart's feeling offended now, says Zender. Northampton would be happy with that score at halftime. Couldn't have played any worse. That's honestly true. Like, they really, really struggled to get anything going throughout that first half. Kept on dropping the ball. Kept on having little moments that they just didn't look like they were out there ready. Snorkeling strippers. I did not know that was a thing. A moment, I'm about to sneeze and then we'll talk all about it. We are good. Well, we're getting there. Listening to Zender, good advice, Hamish. Says Ilmar. And mermaids are just off Customs Street. I'd say the Saints be very happy with that scoreline considering. Are they still in there? That sounds interesting, Kerr. That's a lot of water that would be involved. And that, because I'd assume they'd have a big tank of some sort, wouldn't they? Is mermaids a strip club or what? It sounds like they're actually like a snorkeling, like, female. Which is interesting. But second half of this game, not too far away. Ladies and gentlemen, my voice is almost gone. But the benches. Ronan Killar, Ken Healy, and Michael Alatoa there. For Leinster also, they have got Jason Jenkins and Jack Conan as the other two forward replacements that they will be able to use. Luke McGrath, Harry Byrne, and Jimmy O'Brien as the back replacements. Then for Northampton, they have got Sam Matavesi, although we've hardly seen any lineouts throughout that first half from the Northampton Saints. That's because they kept dropping the ball. Then also Yogan and Miller Mills, Maya Navanua, Angus Scott Young, James Litchfield, and also Seabrook as the last replacement. But yeah, interesting first half. I'll be honest, did it live up to the expectations of this game? No, I think we were hoping for a lot better performance. Like, Leinster haven't played badly, it's just they haven't really been allowed the chance to play that well either, if that makes sense. It's a gentleman's establishment. Do you have a sneeze up towards the roof, but it's showered down on your face? No, I don't, Nazi. I normally try and avoid that. That's an interesting image. Dublin versus Kerr in the background, or Kerry in the background. Weather's the same, though, says Ryan. Mermaid is a club in GTA 5. And where we have life, we can have hope hampies, says Bad. And there's, I'm calling the cops, says Justin on Nas. Yeah, that was an interesting comment from you, Nas, to be honest. We mean sit in red silk smoking robes and sip brandy while enjoying a fine tart, says Kerr there as well. But yeah, first live stream tomorrow. The plan is to do that match between Samoa and Canada. Now, that might be subject to change if I don't have a vocal cord. It might be a little bit of a later game, but no matter what, we are doing plenty of live streams tomorrow. Naz, you have too much time on your hands. says Zender. I don't know if I'd try it, but I guess I'm sneezing enough that if I get really bored, it could. No, I don't even think it could be an option, to be honest. I was going to say, we'll give it a go, see what happens, but no. We don't see those gentlemen on rugby streams. Their loss, says Sebastian. I've heard the All Blacks under-20 drawed against the under-20 Springboks. What happened? Did it rain? It flooded. Not just rained, it was pouring down. Noah was almost thinking about getting the ark out for a second run because it was absolutely drenched on the sideline. That was just an experiment, says Nas. Sure it was. If we had all gone, yeah, then you would have been like, yeah. But because we all went, what? And you went, nah, never mind. But Champions Cup, we will get some stats. Now, that was a horrible game. It wasn't the best first half. I'll be honest, great work from James Lowe early on. Saved water. That's not nice. But, yeah, I think that this is one of those games that everyone had high expectations. And sadly, it just hasn't actually worked out that way. Which is annoying. Because this was supposed to be one of those really, really tight, exciting fixtures. So far, I mean, Leinster couldn't have done too much more in terms of, like, they haven't made too many mistakes. They've beaten defenders. They've also had more territory. They've had more possession. They're tackling at 81%, so that might be one thing that is critical for Leinster. But then saying that, they are still in the position that they are with a 12-point lead at half-time. Of course, it's going to have to be a big second half if they want a chance of getting back into it for the Saints. Please tell me Hampies is autocorrect for Hamish. No, I think it's for Hampies as in like Northampton. Maybe. And hopefully the Saints are getting their bottoms whacked in the shed. Come out and play some rugby, says Justin. And we're all hoping for a more animated second half. I think it's fair to say. Yeah. There were a few good moments. But other than that, it has been a bit of an anticlimax in that regard. I want to see how many likes, because you got 20 likes in the end for your donation by the looks of it, Kerr. And it's now the most liked donation on the channel, fun fact. Sorry, politically correct humans. I tend to rebel here and there and be politically incorrect. Otherwise, it would be a boring world, right? And North Hamish Saints, says Zender. Hey, hide over there. Oh, here, got stash place. Excuse my weapons loadout. What? Sometimes you guys say things and I don't know what you mean, but I still enjoy it. Because I know that it makes sense if I knew. Oh, the voice is going again. This is not good. The game, hopefully in the second half, though, will kick the voice right in the head and get it going. Lemon and ginger for you and a better second half for all. I like the sound of that. And I think a second half would make me very happy if we get to see, I'd say 2 tries at least per team. That's probably a bit optimistic, but bugger it, we're going to say it anyway. Couple tries for Northampton, couple tries for Leinster. Everyone walks away happy. Got to rub some Vicks Vapor Rub on your chest before you sleep, says Justin. I think that is a good plan. That stuff is magic, isn't it? Sometimes works very well, cool Leicester. Go off the radar if the cops pull up, says Hanoi. Oh, sorry, that was Blues Nate. I don't know where I read Hanoi. Halftime team talk, Hamish. Well, Leinster, they'll look at it as they could have been further ahead. The amount of mistakes that we've seen from the Northampton Saints, I think that Leinster, if they were that little bit more clinical, could have seen a little bit more on the try sheet. But at the same time, it's like, when you got a side in Northampton throughout that first half who just aren't in the game, they're dropping the ball, you're getting start-stop all the time, it does make it hard for a good side to build momentum. Well, it's 5:35 here in Auckland. All my one brain cell not functioning 100 yet, says Nas Williams. And also we got a new member, Petra Atchison. Atchison? Maybe. Something along those lines, hopefully. When is the next under-20 match is going to take place? They take place on Tuesday. And it's New Zealand versus Argentina, followed by the other game, which is Australia versus South Africa. Now, we are planning on actually covering both of those games on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to, hit that subscribe button, give it a bit of a boom. Give Kerr's donation a like as well. We're going to see whether or not we can get that to higher than the stream. It's on 20 at the moment, although it's a little bit far up, so people might have lost it. How can I get that back to close? And Lee Radford, Northampton's defence coach, is brilliant. And apparently not. For Johan. Where's Johan? Did I miss a comment somewhere? Where's Johan? Oh, there. For the Brilliance defence coach. Welcome in, Johan. It's been a little while since we've seen you, but hopefully you are keeping well. Yeah, it hasn't been the best half overall. Anyone who doesn't like the stream is a Saints fan. I assure you pin their donations, says Justin. Well, I was just wondering about that. I was thinking about it in my head. And I was thinking, if I pin that, is that then available for everyone to like? Okay, I can't pin it by the looks of it. It doesn't have the option. Which is a shame, because I was going to pin it. At least should be. Not a bad league player in his day. I'm not referring to this game. I'm referring overall. Hey, bro. No, just joking. See, there's a Kerr in there as well. But yeah, you can't pin a donation. I thought you could. And I can't stop accidentally clicking it. I can replace it with Eric's message that is just above it. But I can't actually replace it with the other one, unfortunately. But second half, just around the corner from taking place, ladies and gentlemen. If you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button like I mentioned. We don't always sound like this. The voice is normally a little bit better. Donation just for the likes, says Kerr there. Let's see if we can get that donation from Kerr to more than 20 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get it there? Be sure to hit that like button on it. I'll give it a heart as well to make it stand out. This is like a fun wee game, isn't it? It's got 4 likes at the moment. Keep them going on that donation, ladies and gents. You can now like a donation. So be sure to get those likes on it. Anyway, seems Leinster starting XV. Having a break before this match and working so hard. 40 minutes left. The Saints make a comeback now, says Blues Nate. And that's the thing as well. Like I think that the second half for Leinster, now that we're seeing these guys in action for the first time in a little while, I think that might actually help them out. And the second half, they'll look a lot stronger. At least that's what I'm hoping anyway. There's 6 now, says Brian. Now it's up to 8. It's slowly getting itself up there. A couple of Big Ben bacon and egg pies warming up, Hamish. Might solve your flu. Or a cheesecake. The cheesecake's now just in my mind. Rugby Merlin has said smash that like button. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are keeping well. Hope you're excited for the internationals that are around the corner. I assume you're going to do some videos on them for the international matchups. A lot of big ones coming just around the corner. But second half also just around the corner in this game between Leinster and Northampton. The moment, the way that it sits, unless something drastic happens at the start of the second half for the Saints, I don't really see them getting back into this contest. Like, as much as I would like to see it be close and go down to the wire, they just haven't played well enough for Northampton. Maybe a couple changes on their bench might make all the difference in this game, but it's going to need to make a big difference because that first half was just not quite what we wanted to see throughout that fixture. The last passage of play was defended brilliantly by Northampton. Hope they can win and make a comeback. Yes, I'm doing well. Cheers, buddy. Get well soon. Says a Rugby Merlin. Yeah, hopefully by next weekend we should be all good to go and no longer sick. It just seems to be any time there's a sevens leg, someone who is sick ends up coming to our house and just ends up giving me whatever they've got. Like the first time I got sick, it was George. Second time, it was my sister's boyfriend who decided he would visit from Australia and gave us all the bugs from Australia as well. Bigger donations stay pinned for longer, but can't permanently pin them. So you're saying that if it was up there for longer, more likes would come onto it. It's a little bit of a strategy game, isn't it? Did you know South Africa playing Ireland exactly 9 weeks from now? It's getting close. And also getting close as the second half, Leinster going to be kicking it off from a right to left. It's that George, eh? It was that George for the first one. He's not my sister's boyfriend, though, I should clarify. And agree, Johan. Says Naz Williams. I hope they can win and make a comeback, says Johan, for the Northampton Saints. Yeah, I just hope that they have a much better second half here and at least make it a little bit competitive. It's kicked into touch by the Saints from Alex Mitchell. Ireland will lose in Africa for sure, says it bad there. And hope not, says Naz Williams. And 9 weeks' time flies when you're having fun, says Brian. Yeah, it's going to be here very soon. And it's going to be a busy time, but it's going to be absolutely awesome. That'll also be, like, at that stage, we will know who the URC champions are. We will know who's won the Champions Cup. We'll know who has won Super Rugby, Gallagher Premiership. All these competitions would have come to a close. And donations just for the likes, longer pin time, says Curse. Everyone be sure to hit that like button on Kerr's donation. Show him some appreciation for his generosity towards the stream. He is going to be directly paying for a cheesecake for myself because that seems to be what we're going to get. But not a chili cheesecake because that would suck. Just saying Northampton, it's been slow in the breakdowns. It hasn't been the smoothest game at the moment for them. Going off to the left-hand side, Jordan Lama. Goes off to Jameson, Gibson Park, back across to Jack Conan. Oh, sorry, it was actually Caelan Doris Conan coming off the bench a little bit later on. Osborne finds the offload again. Dan Sheehan, one more to Frawley. Bounce pass from Leinster. It's not the cleanest performance from those men either, but that's a fantastic run from the big man, Ryan Beard. Tries to bump through. And they're 20 metres out from the line now for Leinster. Andrew Porter hits it up once more. Already a great chance for Leinster to be able to add more points in the second half. I feel like their coach would have really told them, we need more points here. Like, first half, they scored 2 tries. This half, they'll be looking for at least 2 more. Robbie Henshaw skips down the wing. Tackled by Courtney Laws. 5 metres out from the line. Now Frawley goes back across to Ryan Beard, who bumps off Alex Waller. And Lama has been in great form. He certainly has been. Question is he going to be in that side to take on these South Africans? Another offload from Osborne. Goes across to Dan Sheehan. Another offload to Frawley. James Lowe gets the hat trick. At the moment, it's easy being a left winger. Every time, the ball's just passed out to him. And easy run-ins. Northampton aren't defending it. A great initial break from Ryan Beard. But Leinster now reaping the rewards of another try. Like they're saying, Leinster, when they get it right, they are very strong. But it was just a nice passing going down the wide channel. That seems you're blaming your sister's boyfriend for you being sick. I hope it's not serious. Nah, it's alright. Like, the first time I got sick about a month ago, it was worse, but then this time it's been worse in terms of my throat. Like, it's quite rough. But then also probably talking for 20 hours in a weekend probably doesn't help either. James Lowe's doing great. All his Christmases have come together. There's Brian and Leinster have a cheat code and it's called James Lowe. Pass it out wide to him. And it seems like Northampton just aren't able to stop him when he gets possession. Now lining up this kick. Crowd completely silent, which is impressive when you consider that there's 80,000 plus in attendance and the kick is missed away to the side, so that will make the score now 20 points to 3. As it currently sits, Kerr's donation. It's currently got 11 likes. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that like button on Kerr's donation. Sounds like such a weird thing. Also, be sure to hit subscribe. Oh, sorry, not subscribe, but hit like on the live stream in general. Now, inside of their 22, Leinster will kick this one downfield. And Northampton will now have themselves the line out in not a terrible position on the field. I noticed that if you annoy anyone, they can take away the likes, says Brian. And Adios Friends, boring game, says Bad. I should probably take the Monday off work, let it recover properly. Probably. Although I think I'm supposed to be controlling traffic while my dad works on a overhanging veranda. But I will hopefully be able to delay that till Tuesday. Did I annoy someone with donations, says Kerr? I think it's just more that people are able to take those likes away and then put them back, because they had 11, didn't it? Oh no, now it's up to 14. And James Owen, the All Blacks, says Charles. 46 minutes in at the moment. 34 to go. And Leinster currently with those 3 tries on the board. They got one more in a regular game. This would be a bonus point. But of course, playoff rugby, all you need is the victory. At the moment, Leinster are a long way towards just that. They're going to be feeding that ball in. Ball's there. Off the back for Alex Mitchell. Then they do manage to get themselves the penalty. I don't think he was Nas. Was James O ever in the All Blacks frame back then? Not hugely, I don't believe. I think he was always a strong enough player, really, but I don't think they ever decided to pull the trigger with him and actually try and get him in there. And no, keep it up, says Brian. I can see it on my PC, but not on my smart TV, says Robert. Oh, for the likes on the donations, I assume that is. But now, line out throw, Curtis Langdon. Going to get ready to throw this ball in. So they're just trying to get them on the right mark here for the Northampton Saints. They are yet to score themselves a try in this contest. They've been scoring tries for fun all throughout the year. Another crashing run forward from Tommy Freeman, who doesn't actually have a number on the back of his jersey for this contest. Low played 6 games for the Māori All Blacks, so that's something, says Sebastian. There's going to be a tackle and another knock on from Northampton. Leinster, though, I think that they had a little bit more to do with that one. Joe McCarthy, the player who was putting on that extra pressure. But the way to describe this game is just Leinster have stopped Northampton from playing like Northampton. Any time they've had half a crack, they just lose that ball. And it was Joe McCarthy who just ripped that one away and won Leinster the scrum feat. Hopefully the final is a bit closer than this one, ladies and gents. We've also got that game tomorrow between Toulouse and the Harlequins that we will be covering. Where was this Saints team against the Bulls, says Justin? That's a good question. I mean, that's the thing. In that game, it was everything. The Saints were doing so much right. This game, they don't seem to be able to do anything right. Just as we currently sit. One moment, I am about to sneeze again. We are good again. Well, goodish. North Hamish, not Collins, says Charles there. Now 43 metres out from their own line. It is going to be another Leinster line-out throw. And I feel like for them, they will want at least 4 tries here, just to slightly prove a point. They are top of this competition, and they'll also probably want a better winning rate or winning differential than Toulouse have if they manage to get themselves the win over the Quins. Oh, come on, mate. I'm eating my bacon and egg pie, says Nas Williams. Now going back across to the right-hand side. Northampton Saints are in possession, 40 metres out from the line. Short ball. It's well taken by Davison. Now going to be put high again here from the Northampton Saints. Nicely taken by James Lowe. Moment he will have man of the match. Relatively secured, I would say, how we currently sit. Now back into the pocket. Byrne puts it high. Nicely taken by, it was George Furbank. Saints here is a mistake robbing them right now. Yeah, they're really struggling to put more than maybe 3 phases together in this game. And it's just led to a pretty stop-start kind of contest. What do you think about Archie Sneyman? Geordie Barrett joining Leinster next year. Couple big signings for them, of course. And stream mute, Hamish says Sebastian. And there. Yeah, every once in a while we get hit with the sneeze that I don't get the mute button hit quick enough. That's going to be the penalty now to the Saints for players not rolling away in the breakdown. It's against Leinster. Now looking for the corner, and I think he's kept that one in the field of play. Yes, he has. So it goes from bad to worse for Northampton. Now they can't even find the touchline. There the Stormers got JD Schnickling back. RG should have come back to South Africa. There as well. Now it's going to be a line out for the Saints. 21 metres out from Leinster's line. Are we going to get to see a first try for the Saints? And I just want to see one. You know, like they don't have to win this game. They just score a try like they've done all throughout the rest of their games. Alex Mitchell goes back across now to Augustus. Great defence from Leinster. Now, they did have an 81% tackle completion rate throughout that first half as opposed to the 89% of the Saints. Nice running from Alex Mitchell. Thought about the next offload. Wasn't able to get it away. Now they are sitting only about that 10 metres out. Counter ruck from Leinster. No ball security whatsoever from the Saints. And they've lost it again. I just found out that Leinster used a private jet when going to away games overseas, says Brian. A ball should have been here today instead of the Saints, says Blues Nate. But once again, just no one in the breakdown for the Saints. It's cost them the ball. Just not very good from Northampton, is it? They've had chances, but they just haven't been able to make them happen, unfortunately. But sometimes you have games of rugby like that. Like I mentioned, last game that they played in, they were pretty much flawless in the way that they played. But now this game, it's just been anything but flawless. The way that they've played. The ball should have never be anywhere other than Pretoria, from Grant. Grant, by the way, hello. You're now a member on the channel, fun fact. So that's quite fun. You like your membership? It wasn't me who did it though. It was Brian who gave you one. Now ball's there for Leinster. They will put up the box kick. It'll be a relatively hard one to line up. And Furbank, I think he's almost been taken out in the air there. But it is going to be play on in favour of Leinster. Yes, we have a gifted, thanks. I agree, the Bulls missed the big opportunity there, and the mark is called now from Finn Smith inside of the 22, who's a name that we've hardly said throughout this contest. Now, we'll be looking for the touchline here. And it's gone into touch. Leinster take it quickly though, looking like they're trying to up the tempo now. They're showing a replay, but they should be showing the field. Thank you, Brian. Says Grant. Now back across to the left-hand side. Jake White was dumped to centre half team for that game. I feel like he tries to be too smart sometimes, says Justin. Yeah, like I said earlier on, like if they go on to win the URC, then people will be like, okay, it was the right decision. But if they don't win the URC, then that's another competition that they've kind of thrown away, if that makes sense, for the Champions Cup. We have got there, right, boys and girls. Unfortunately, got to go back to work. Can't be helped. Says Gerb, but thank you very much for popping in, mate. Hope you are going to have a little bit of a break later on, that you don't have to work too hard. But also, thank you very much for your generosity. And you've got more likes on your donations than we've got on the whole stream. So that's a little bit of an extra achievement there as well. Now, Jack Conan passes on the outside to Frawley, who's gone into touch. Brian works for an organisation that helps tight asses like you. Jake White is done, full stop. And shed it for these lads, says Blues Nate. And very welcome, mate, says Brian. Go off to the Mermaids, says Justin. Sounds like Furbank may have actually picked up an injury here as well. For the Northampton Saints, of course, the more injuries that they have in this game, the worse off that they are, mainly because this game they cannot really win with the way that they've been playing, and they'll just lose players for that premiership playoff. Alex Waller, 375th appearance, they've just said, for that man. That's a lot. 375, finally got the chance in a big match, and it hasn't worked out for Northampton. But still 25 minutes left. Sharks can win a lick, says William Moses. Take care, champs. And Brian's doing the Lord's work, says Grant. There as well. But so far we've seen 15 turnovers conceded by the Northampton Saints in this one as well. Like, those kind of numbers, when you look at the knock-ons and the penalties conceded and everything along those lines, it's just obvious why they aren't winning this game. Like, Leinster have had some pretty decent numbers throughout this contest for what's been in front of them. And like I mentioned, even though Leinster haven't really played a flawless game, it's been hard for them to find that rhythm because of the lack of rhythm that we're seeing from Northampton. Makes it quite a start-stop kind of contest. Now, looking for this rolling maul here, the Northampton Saints. They are just outside of their 22 now. If some random thing happens here and they somehow get three tries, and they convert them, they would actually be in the lead in this match. Not taken cleanly by James Lowe. Beautiful pickup from Augustus, who now goes with a grubber in behind. It's going to be a foot race. The ball stays in the field of play, and the Saints have now got themselves the line out from 5 metres out of Leinster's line. This is their best chance now. They don't take it quickly though. They will have time to be able to set this rolling maul. Perhaps this is the start of a little bit of a comeback here. Or at least I'm hopeful that it is anyway. And a hunch the Quins will surprise to lose tomorrow, says Brian. And yeah, as long as they play a little bit better than the Saints have in this game, I think they'll be happy, you know. Going to be thrown in, not claimed though. Leinster get the turnover every time they get close. Looks like a maul here. If they fall behind the line, it will actually be a scrum feed for Northampton, and that is exactly what it will be. Still another chance here for the Saints. I think that's Brian Baird. Yes, it is. Just got himself stuck a little bit too high up, which then allowed the Saints to be able to pretty much just create a bit of a wall around him and keep him stuck 5 metres from his line. Another scrum, I should say now, for the Northampton Saints. They are 5 metres from the try line. This is their chance to get back into it and to close that gap. Like, they'll be 10 points to 20 down, which isn't terrible. Still time left on the clock. Can the Saints go marching in? For their first try of the semi-final. Alex Mitchell feeding it in. Big push from Leinster at scrum time, and the penalty goes the way of Leinster again. Just everything at the moment, whether that's the line out, they can't win them. Scrums, they can't win them. Backline, they can't hold the ball. Kicking, they just can't get it right. It's one of those games that the Saints have just been outplayed in every single way out there on the field. Now kicking it for the touchline is a Leinster, and the Saints have a aversion to holding on to the ball. Maybe they'll get something now. What's up, bro? Says Levi. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, hopefully you are enjoying the Champions Cup action. We are going to have plenty more sevens coming tomorrow as well. Ladies and gentlemen, just not good enough Saints. What a shame. Expected much more from them. I honestly think everyone did. To be honest, like they haven't looked like the Saints that we've seen from the last year. The ball's going to be in their hands now, though. Imagine if they somehow won this game. Like, what would that say for Leinster? And what would that do for their confidence and the overall scheme of the URC? Little Jimmer behind from George Henry. Ball's loose. He scored it for the Saints. And they've now got back into this game per se. But of course, we can't count the chickens before they hatch. George Henry, the man who has scored it, they were putting pressure on. Leinster rushing up. And I feel like if Northampton can work out a way of getting around that rush defence, in this case it was that little chip in behind, which Leinster, because they had all rushed forward, meant that there was going to be that bit of a gap to run into. Jordan Lama and Porter, there was a miscommunication at the back. And it meant that the Saints get themselves a try. I was just kidding, of course. George Henry. First chance. Finn Smith, though, to line up this kick. Quite a tough kick as well, right from the touchline. He's brought it around. It's gone over. And the score is now 20 points to 10. Still in favour of Leinster, but nowhere near as one-sided as the game was. After the stage, well done the Saints, a semi-final. Says Brian. Now they want the final. They're close enough in this game that if they get a couple things right throughout this last 20 minutes, perhaps the comeback could be on for this Northampton Saints side. Alright, we are about to sneeze again, so I'll quickly mute. Oh, we are good. Well done, the Saints. The semi-final should be a proper contest, says Brian. Yeah, still with the time left on the clock, they have got a chance being able to fire back into this game just that little bit more. Looking for the touchline, and it has gone out. Oh, it's Mitchell. Decent clearing kick. And the question is, for the Saints, when do you take him off? I feel like he has to be out there for as long as possible. Got a few other options. Timo Mainavanua, another man who will be coming off the bench. Michael Alatoa now making his way on. That is for Tyke Furlong. Seeing quite a bit of dominance from the Leinster scrum with those changes. Does that change how they go at scrum time as well? There's a lot of unknowns at the moment for the end of this match, but it is thrown in. Leinster claiming it. You sound like you have flu, Hamish. Voice sounds grungy. Yep, currently very sick at the moment, but we've still done about 15 hours of live streaming so far throughout the weekend, and we've got another probably 6 or 7 hours tomorrow that we are doing as well. Now Michael Alatoa being wrestled down there by some good defence. James Lowe back up to his feet straight away was Northampton Saints representative. Now Andrew Porter. It looks close to the turnover for Courtney Laws. No, he's given away the penalty. Like they've just said, if you're Leinster, you got to take the 3 points here just to try and extend that lead by just a little bit more, but taking the player out is what has got them penalised there. Looks like it will be Sharks versus Leinster. Not quite, no. It will be Sharks versus Gloucester, and then Leinster will face the winner of Toulouse versus Harlequins, as Sharks are in the Challenge Cup rather than the Champions Cup. Now, 18.5 minutes remaining. The chance for Ross Byrne to add some more points onto the board. Still not a huge buffer though, is it? 23 points to 10 if this one goes over from Ross Byrne. Continue to tick just that little bit closer to the end of the competition. Oh, yeah, I've got apologies. No worries at all. Like, at the end of the day, it is a little bit confusing with the way that the competitions do work. Definitely because some of the Champions Cup sides then go into the Challenge Cup. That looks like he's missed it away to the side. 10 points difference. Andy Farrell watching on for this one. Sounds like a bit of a cheer going around the stands. Got a slight little smile on his face there, Andy Farrell, with the way that the crowd were giving him the cheer. Now 45 metres out from the line here, Leinster with another attacking opportunity, but it's the penalty to the Northampton Saints. It'll be Western Force versus Dragons in the final, obviously, says Orion there. Matthew Day now said it is a good contest. They'll be looking for the touchline now, Northampton. They have been able to do just that. The last thing that they could end up doing there was not putting the ball out. So much rugby going on, it's understandable, says Brian. yeah, there's a lot. Like the Sevens tomorrow, we've also got the Champions Cup, the other semi-final. And then next week back into the URC and Super Rugby. Rush defence there from Leinster. I mentioned about it earlier on. If Northampton can stop Leinster's rush defence from actually shutting them down, and instead maybe put a couple little chips in behind or have a dummy runner to then pop that ball up on the inside, I think that Northampton might be able to get through this defensive line. Finn Smith, or in fact it was George Furbank that time, tried the offload. And penalties gone the way of Leinster and that breakdown. But they're looking a lot better, Northampton. It's as if they had to take that first 55 minutes or so to then wake up. And now that they're awake, seems like they're going to be a little bit more competitive in this matchup. They are about to put this ball into touch with Ross Byrne. Leinster won't feel comfortable here. Still only 10 points difference between these two sides. Now, if this game was to somehow be even at the end of this match, it would mean that we go to golden point time. And then if no one is able to score during golden point time, we would go to a kickoff, which is pretty much where you have guys put the ball on the tee and you go from different distances. We actually saw it in the Munster versus Toulouse match. I believe it was last year or the year prior. What's the time on the clock now? At the moment, it is 64 minutes and 20 seconds. Great attack and run from Jameson Gizzenpark. Gets back up to his feet. Courtney Laws does make the tackle. Jason Jenkins, the replacement lock. Oh, Northampton thought about going for that turnover. I think he would have been entitled to it as well there for the Saints. He didn't want to take the risk to give it away. Next minute, Saints bounce back and win. Not impossible, says Nars. Well, I mean, we saw it for Leinster versus La Rochelle. Just as an example, Leinster got themselves so many early tries and then went on to lose that game. I believe it was by 1 point in the end, as La Rochelle were able to dig that a little bit deeper in the later stages of the matchup. I think if I was Leinster, I still wouldn't be completely confident at this point of the match because you just never know. The Saints score next of a line break or something along those lines. Oh, it's going to be slapped back into the chest of the Saints player. Now Alex Mitchell tackled a little bit high from Michael Alaratal, but he was dipping down. 15 minutes now left. We'll keep you updated in terms of the amount of time remaining. This could be extremely crucial for Northampton. They are able to get some form of points before the 72nd minute or so, just to give them a really good crack in this one. Claimed by Jameson Gizzenpark, who does put it extremely high there off the boot. I'm waiting for this one to come down. Alex Mitchell looking for a kick downfield. The English international, claimed by James Lowe, who already has himself 3 tries today. He's gone for the kick in behind. He almost won the foot race. Slip there from George Furbank, but he manages to get around. Rough pass, flicked out the back door. Leinster turn it over. And now Byrne with the counter-attack here for Leinster as they sit 15 metres out from the Saints line. Gibson Park, short ball from Kelleher, stripped away for the Saints. And now they are on the counter-attack with plenty of space to be able to work with. Here comes George Henry. Has to cut back inwards. Lama with a good shot in the midsection to stop him in his tracks. Feels tighter than a 10-point gap, says Brian. Which is crazy to say, isn't it? Because of the way that this match has gone. Because it seems like it's all Leinster. But now, last 20 minutes, it seems like we're at least going to see Northampton Saints try and put everything out there. Taken on the halfway line by Jamie Osborne. Tackled low by his opposite number, Dingwall. Gibson Park. Back across. Rush defence now from the Northampton Saints. They've decided that they want to try and match tactics with Leinster here. Running onto it was Alex Mitchell. Slapped back by Courtney Laws. Chance there for Jordan Lama. Couldn't get it though. Alex Mitchell goes off to Sam Matavesi. It's all about joining that next man to the breakdown, having support if you're going to hit that ball up. No look past there. Out to Courtney Laws. Still there for the Saints. Come on, the Saints get tracking. Tell you what, if they score a try soon, this game is going to get just a little bit more intense for the final moments, which I feel like is exactly what people have wanted from the get-go. It's just taken a while for us to actually get it. At the moment, in terms of the odds, I do see that Leinster are favourites, of course, sitting how they are, but Northampton, they're a big underdog at the moment, but if they score another try, it may completely change. Michael Alatoa taken down. 12 minutes left on the clock now. Jack Conan tackled well by by Northampton's defence. Off to the left-hand side, James Lowe just goes with the up and under. Jamie Osborne chasing after it. Same with Robbie Henshaw, who's been almost non-existent in this game. So there's going to be the knock-on, though, and they will go back for the original scrum. Seems like Robbie Henshaw is the player who did knock that one on. But yeah, like he has hardly been in this game at all, Robbie Henshaw. We've seen a lot more of Jamie Osborne, but it does seem to be when the ball's gone out the back line for Leinster, they've just gone with the skip passes. Same with Jordan Lama. Like, we haven't really seen that man run the ball in this matchup. Whereas out on the other wing, James Lowe has been getting it all the time. Flicked out the back door title of Hamish's sextape. I got a lot of titles, don't I? In terms of options. Oh, Moon's off the field. That is Alex Moon for Timo Mainavanua. 11 minutes left now on the clock. Northampton Saints, they have made the change at 9. It is now Tom James, who is out there on the park. Name that I'm not too familiar with. Well, it's a nice easy one, so we do appreciate that, of course. Ball's going to be fed in now by the Saints. Looks relatively solid here at scrum time. Gives them Park trying to put pressure on the scrum. What do they do now? Tom James goes to the short side, look close to offside from Michael Alatoa, who got up very early. They tried to cause a rolling more there for Porter and McCarthy. Alatoa just trying to cause a bit of disruption in the breakdown as well. Our ball is kicked up high by Tom James off his left boot. Trying to slap that one back. Gone straight in the hands of Jameson. Gives him Park, which is ideal for Leinster because he's probably the player that they were hoping to find. With the passing, Hindi, he has gone off the field. That is for the replacement Tom Seabrook. Back into the pocket, Byrne. Does get it high again. This one's contestable. Gone sideways off Frawley. Counter-attack option for the Northampton Saints. And it does just seem like that Leinster kicking game hasn't been as effective in just the last little while. Now kick downfield again. Ross Byrne goes across to James Lowe, who has sunk the slipper into that one. Kicking it downfield again here towards the touchline. Well controlled by Ross Byrne, who is inside of his 22, so can put this one into touch if he wants. And that is exactly what he has done. Just one of the Irish commentators saying no matter how hard Northampton try, they just haven't been able to control any element of this contest. But the thing is, one more try here, and they could find themselves with a bit of control. Never trust a man with a first name as a surname, says Grant. We're talking about Tom James, I assume. There, the attendance in this ground, over 82,000 for this matchup. There was a slight delay in terms of when this match was starting due to trying to get everyone in time to be able to witness quite a spectacle for these sides. But Jack Conan trying to fire up his forward pack now. He knows that these last moments will be absolutely crucial when it comes to the chances of Northampton being able to get back into this contest, or for Leinster to keep that lead that they have currently got. Looks like McCarthy getting a lot of strapping on that leg at the moment. Hopefully nothing too serious for him. And let's go Saints, come on boys. There's the Blues, Nate, and also Hugh Grant. Would doubt you, mate, says Sebastian as well there. But 9 minutes left. It's going to be the line out for the Saints, although the referee says we have to take that one again by the sounds of it. There might have been someone still on the field. One of the medics, perhaps, was still out there for the Saints. So Matavesi getting ready to throw this one in. The time has been turned off. Leinster trying to cause, once again, a little bit of disruption. That is when they've been at their best. That is a penalty for offside against Joe McCarthy on the halfway line. Finn Smith now with a chance to kick this one towards the corner. Not sure what the odds we're sitting at for the Saints at this stage of the contest, but, you know, this could be a crazy comeback if it's possible. And how long left, says Andy, at the moment? Only the 9 minutes remaining. Looks like Andrew Porter now making his way from the field, and that will be Kian Healy who makes his way on. Now ready to throw this one in for the Saints. Again at line-out time. It's been stolen by Leinster every time in this contest. In fact, I think that it's been very rare for Northampton to actually retain a line-out. It's autocorrect and rather on, come on. Says Blues, Nate. Kick downfield. Taken now by, that's going to be James Ram, another name that we haven't said today. Passed out wide now to Tom Seabrook. Going to back himself in the foot race. Gives him Parker's there. Has to force the ball down, and it will be a 5-metre scrum now for the Northampton Saints. At 9 minutes, this needs to be defended well by Leinster, says Brian, although now the Saints are in the perfect position to be able to march their way towards the try line. That wasn't even me trying to make a pun either, ladies and gentlemen. That just kind of happened, but it's close. The moment between these two sides, which I didn't think I'd be saying at the start of this contest. Well, I did at the start, but not at halftime. It just seemed very one-sided. Right, at the moment, in terms of the odds, I don't think they've got the actual betting odd, but Northampton, it looks like they are, there's like a betting line. Northampton to lose by less than 10 is now a little bit more of a favourite. But they don't have the exact winner in their match by the looks of it. And Leinster aren't holding leads well, says Gus. Now the ball's going to be fed in by the Northampton Saints. They're 5 metres out from the line, and they have got themselves the penalty advantage here as well. Here come the Saints, 5 metres out from the try line. Now slinging it across. Finn Smith tries to chip him behind. They had the advantage, and Crawley gets it down. They'll go back for the penalty at scrum time. One moment. Right, we are good. But now 7 minutes left. Do they go for the scrum again here? No, it looks like they are going for the quick tap semi-finals. This is Leinster. Says Giddy. Looks like Timo Mayanava. No, they aren't going to give him the crack just yet. Instead, they will go off to the big replacement, Oilgun, at number 1. Ball's available now. Off the back for Tom James. All about keeping that ball. It's out, popped out the back door. Big run from the Saints trying to hurdle over the opposition. Going to the left-hand side. The Saints have got themselves another. And with 6 minutes remaining, they are now within 7. Okay, commentators sounding a little bit nervous. The one with the Irish accent is saying that's what happens when you don't put a team away. You find yourself in a position like this where Leinster now, it's all to play for. The Saints are back in it. One more try here for them might find them moving through to the final. Leinster just, I don't know how this has happened. Like, the first half was so one-sided and didn't look like anything but a Leinster win. And now Northampton in the second half, like they mentioned, Leinster have not put the nail in the coffin. They've kept it open. Chance for Finn Smith. He's got another kick over. And now Northampton, they are within the 5 points. If they take a 3, they would be tying in this contest. Fire up, lads, says Blues Nana. Well, this is getting interesting, says Brian. So I should make clarification here, ladies and gentlemen. If it is tied at the end of the game, we go to golden point time. If it is a tie at the end of golden point time, we go to a kickoff with the goal kicking tee. Now Leinster have 5 minutes left to put a stamp on this game, which they've almost let slip away from them with the Saints, getting themselves a bit of a comeback here in the second 40 minutes. Now Sam Matavesi, in fact, it's going to be Augustus, runs that one forward. Of course, Leinster, if they get a 3-pointer, they might consider taking it, just to give them that lead by 6, but it may still not be enough up against this Saints side. Down to the halfway line, nicely taken by Kieran Frawley. It's been a pretty safe option at 15 all throughout this game. Now offload there, McCarthy. Loose ball, Frawley has had to clean it up after it bounced. Out the back door, looks like Gibson Park will once again go for the box kick here. An awkward one to take, and beautifully done by Robbie Henshaw. Gibson Park cross to McCarthy. Now Byrne with a change of direction. Straightens with his run. 4 minutes left on the clock now in this game. Another run forward from Ryan Beard. It's been consistent throughout this game. Had some elusive runs. Saying 22-20. Says Julian Moses. That was actually someone's prediction at the start of the game, I believe. They may not be a mile off here, depending on what happens throughout the last 3 minutes of this contest. Gibson Park back across to Henshaw. Currently sitting around 30 metres out from the try line here. Courtney Laws wanted the turnover. He wasn't able to get it. Of course, Leinster would love to have a penalty advantage at some point in the very near future. Kian Healy getting held up, manages to get the knee down, so they do have to release him. Across to the left again, Byrne going behind to Maloney. Now Jack Conan hits it up. Short side, Gibson Park. Already we're seeing 3 tries from James Lowe. They are the only tries that we have seen from Leinster in this contest. He's got himself the hat-trick, but I think he's going to need a 4th here. Nice attack and run from Ryan Beard. Almost a little bit of shepherding accidentally there from Leinster. Going quite flat with their attack and also quite compact. I think that they won't be too far away from putting a big pass out. They can't risk an interception. Joe McCarthy, tackled by Augustus. He's had a big game for the Saints as well here. Off to the left-hand side, Ronan Kelleher. Good shot coming in on him. Gibson Park goes back across there to Jamie Osborne. In off his feet was Michael Alatoa. Could have been the turnover. In fact, it will be for the Saints. They've got possession and they've got numbers on the outside. That looked like no arms from Caelan Doris. But Northampton in possession with 2 minutes remaining. Skip pass out wide. This is their opportunity. Augustus goes one more. No, in fact, he's going to hit it up himself. They want to keep this ball alive here for the Saints, the crowd. Only about maybe 4% of them are cheering at the moment. That is the Saints supporters for this match. Leinster's crowd trying to get behind them. Quick hands from the Saints. One turnover here would end this game. But for now, it's on the side of Northampton, who find another offload away. Dingwall does get the touch of the ball. Now Leinster, looks like Frawley's down with some sort of head knock. He does not look good. He is wobbly on his feet. The penalty goes the way of Leinster. In fact, I think it's cramped for Frawley. He's just gone down holding his calf. He's in a huge amount of discomfort. But that penalty that's been won by Leinster there may just about secure this victory. But 45 seconds remaining now. If you're Leinster, I assume your plan is to kick this one into touch, or your plan is to have a scrum. Try and fire it out the back door. The time is off at the moment. Caelan Doris got over it. Question is, are they going back to check his foul play from earlier on? The no-arms tackle. I don't think so. Probably dodged a little bit of a bullet there. Leinster says Chaos Theory out of Leinster win the penalty. Says Andy, so they have said it was for not releasing in the breakdown from Northampton. A lot of players in that breakdown though, so it's going to be extremely hard to be able to judge who would end up with the ball. 30 more likes for the Kiwi lads. Let's go, excuse me. There's a Blues, Nate. But Leinster, they still have 40 seconds remaining. And the Saints were able to get themselves a penalty advantage in the last scrum. So can they replicate that again here? Looks like Leinster may actually consider kicking this one for the touchline just to get it further down the field. But the next thing is going to be making sure they have a straight line out here. It's kicked into touch. They have to get the line out right with 30 seconds now left on the clock. Looks like Frawley's day is done. He's put in a massive shift. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to continue for the last 30 seconds. So Ram is off the field. That is for Litchfield. Well contested by the Northampton Saints, but it's popped out the back door for Leinster, who now look to get this rolling maul moving forward. Northampton can't afford to give away a penalty if this ball is stuck in, which it is not. Now Northampton need to get the turnover in the breakdown. Can they do so? They've committed about 7 men. It's stuck in there at the back for Leinster. And Michael Alato has been told to get out of there. Another counter-ruck coming from Northampton Saints. Put back into the pocket and Leinster will win this game 20 points to 17. But boy, did they make hard work of it. They had a 20 points to 3 lead. Doris just went as if to say, whoops, that was almost a massive balls up. But Leinster moved through to the Champions Cup final. And good effort. And the end of Leinster versus Quins final it is. Come on, you Quins. Says Sebastian there, and Ush close mate, and Dan Samish says Tar. That seems like I missed a hell of a game. Second half was good. First half was really poor. Like Leinster were able to get themselves the 2 tries in that first half, but Northampton couldn't put together more than 3 phases. That second half, though, had a little bit of everything. And in that second, there was actually more of Leinster who weren't quite able to keep that momentum flowing. 3 tries for James Lowe, though, the hat-trick hero in this contest. I'm sure moving forward, there's plenty more just around the corner. Thank you very much for the commentary today. A long day for you, and I really appreciate it. See you later. Says Brian, and Quins are losing by 30. Says Bill Whitlingham. And there as well. But next game that we are covering later on today is the Sevens, ladies and gents. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We will be scheduling all those streams in a very short moment. And also tomorrow night, we have got the game between Toulouse and the Harlequins, which of course will be one to keep an eye out for. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.